All right, everybody, welcome back to Armies on Parade. Today we are doing a new installment in our most recent series, New Units We Want to See. Today we're doing the Zenos factions. Joining me today, as always, is Matt.
Hello.
And Marcus.
I demanded much more than 3 orc units.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about those, but we only have 3 orc units in this actual review here. Let's jump right into it, starting with the rules. The rules have not changed from our Imperium Units We Want to See video. So we have 3 units per faction. Only one of those units can be a refresh. It cannot be a unit that has already been spoiled. And we're going to make an effort here to be realistic, including a lore-friendly unit name. Alright, let's continue on into the actual factions themselves. This first one here, the Tau Empire. And I went with the oft-requested melee battlesuit team.
That guy on the left.
This
guy. An interesting design. That one. That guy's definitely the sergeant.
I don't know what Dolly was thinking with this. I don't like either of these, to be honest. I think the prompt I used didn't really get me where I wanted to be with it. I wanted this to be more like reticulating arms, like mantis arms, and the inside of the mantis arms are blades themselves. And I want the suit to be able to General Grievous. So, like, by that I mean I want them to be able to spin the blades rapidly in front of them in like a circle and slowly move forward. He does with the lightsabers in Star Wars.
Yeah, but what if instead, have you seen that picture of the one Star Wars bad guy where he's got lightsabers coming out of every single one of his joints? So he has like 30 lightsabers.
No, I can't say I have. You'll have to send that to me so I can share it with our viewers.
Yeah, put it up on there and make that a Tau. I think the big thing, like, robot suits with swords, pretty cool. I don't think that they're willing to do that with Tau, which is a shame. But I could see them doing more like a stealth suit technology, so something like coming in and out of reality, which they should do with a lot of things. But I think that could work with Tau. It wouldn't be tough. It wouldn't, be able to take a hit, but be something that'd be like a shock troop. I think that could be pretty cool.
So you just think they won't do that with Tau because Tau's a shooting army and they don't want like a good melee unit in a shooting army?
No, I think they just don't want to put like, well, here's these things that are shooting. We just gave them blades. I think they would probably want to make something that fits in Tau lore, but like Tau aren't. Oh, they could, but it would be more of is something that's unique to them. They just want to make a dreadnought.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Even though that'd still be cool.
Yeah, these guys look a little bit too much like Master Chief and less like an actual Tau suit, which I don't really like very much.
They're cool, but yeah, they're not super Tau-y.
Exactly.
But they're cool.
Give it more of a boxy frame. Give this more of a robotic helmet. Maybe even have the reticulating arm idea here. And then give them jetpacks, like with boosters on the back, like they have for the other Tau suits. And I think you might have something to go on. I don't know if that fits your criteria, Marcus, but...
There's some ways they could do it. I don't know if they're going to do it. But in reality, everything deserves a melee unit just because your identity is you're the shooting thing.
They could be really expensive, and they don't necessarily have to be good, but just that role player, I think, is something that Tau lacks, and I think that's why Tau players want it. But if you want to maintain the faction identity about just being like a shooting army, maybe they don't go in on this. Maybe that's what Crude are, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, they could just make the dinosaur.
The dinosaur,
Give it T-Rex.
Give the dinosaur a robot suit.
There we go. Now we're talking.
That's an excellent transition into our next Tau Empire datasheet here called the Interspecies Cohort.
John, this is a family-friendly channel. It's not a good character in here.
I'll just blur this guy out here. This is an actual Tau auxiliary. It's called a Galg.
It's called a squiggle flock.
This is the only picture online of it. So... I tried to make Dolly make this. This is a Zode over here, and I used Dolly to make this image, and I put in as the prompt, make a Zode, but with Tau armor, and I did the same exact thing with the Galg, and it was like, what are you talking about? What is a Galg?
Well, clearly, every time they were deployed in a number, their eyes would look at them and go, ah, and shot it.
Yeah. So, I'm not sure what this is. It's very, this is 90s 40k. Like, this is not a marketable unit.
No, that's, at best, that's a free thing you get in a kit. It's like, you could...
That's the next Primarch.
That's a distraction grot if I've ever seen one.
Like the cover of the Codex right there.
Give that guy a flaming sword and a halo.
I don't know what this is, and I don't know how big it is. I think it might be big as this Zode here, for example. But give it some Tau armor, give it some Tau weaponry, and then maybe like do some more information on the body.
Fleshing out Kroot is probably the right call, because as much as I forget what they're called, the middle picture, the Tau human auxiliaries, they're called something. I forget what they're called.
I can't remember either, but I know what you mean.
It's one of those things that they just don't fill a role of cheap chaff when Kroot exists. Kroot are your melee units. They have good melee units right now. Like, the Kroot Rampagers are really cheap per wound. They hit kind of hard. They're starting to fill the collection. They just need, like, a heavy hitter, and that's where we get some Kroot Riders on, like T-Rexes.
So, the Tau Empire are a lot like the Covenant in Halo, where they're supposed to be composed of a bunch of different alien species that are all working for the quote-unquote greater good. Playing into that with this unit there's a Zode in it. There's 2 humans in Fire Warrior armor. There's Vespid Stingwings you can include in the unit. There's a Galg, you know. You could include Krutox Warriors. You could include Tau Warriors. You could include all the different species that come together under the Tau, and you could have them as like a mixed data sheet. And I think that from a flavor perspective works for Tau. I don't necessarily think it's going to add anything to the army in terms of rules or viability or playing a role within the army.
Actually, I could see a new unit, or just them, you know, every 10 Tau, there's just a human head you can add to it. So they're just actually intermixed with their units, not instead of just being auxiliary.
Yeah. Actually
absorb the auxiliaries into their main force.
I mean, does a Fire Warrior have basically the same profile as a Guardsman? I don't know Tau very well.
Pretty much. They hit on 4's base. They're T3.
You could even kit bash it as is right now.
Yeah. And their concept, the Fire Warriors, are that they're elite frail bone fishmen.
That's a cool idea.
Could be cool.
When I looked up for Tau, I did for every single one of these, you know, especially the factions I don't play, I had to go to the websites, like the individual subreddits, and Google around to kind of see what people wanted. And a lot of people were just saying, I want to see more of the auxiliary species in Tau. So what better way to do that than to do this? This could be a kill team. And you could have a Zode in there. You could have, you know, this fleshy pile of
PG.
Yeah, this is fleshy pile of PG-13. So the last one here for Tau is another one that I just basically saw a lot of people suggesting online, which was an Earthcast engineer. Basically, they want their own tech marine.
That just makes a lot of sense. The fact that they don't really have, for an army that's mostly vehicles now, because they made all their stuff proper vehicles, not just, oh, these are monsters, these giant robots are actually infantry. A tech marine just makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there's water and there's Fire Warriors. Watercast is the brainwashing guys in charge.
I couldn't tell you. We're not the people to talk about Tau.
We're not. Yeah,
The only thing I know about Tau was when we went to Nova and there was the giant, sweet-looking Gundam. And I was like, I want to get 3 of those and make an entire Tau army.
Town Arm Plastic, there you go. 4th option, Town Arm Plastic.
Yeah, okay. Release the Town Arm Plastic. So that might be a better thing than the Earthcast engineer.
I think the engineer's actually like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's just like, why don't they have that?
Right. And the Earthcast might be the technological cast of Tau. If you're a Tau player, get in the comments, set us right on Earthcast, Watercast, Firecast, Aircast, whatever it is. Teach us. We don't know anything about Tau, apparently. Just a character. It's kind of lame, in my opinion, to it's kind of a cop-out to do characters on these. So if you had a better idea for Tau, also get in the comments and let us know what you would like to see.
Yeah.
A new Gundam that shoots funnels out. Make every single faction have a new Gundam. Because new Gundam's awesome.
Did Tau not have a carrier suit that carries a bunch of drones?
Like a mothership?
Yeah.
They have a bunch of units that kind of do like all the transports you used to carry drones in. But it's kind of what the piranhas are.
We'll do that then. Make a giant suit that carries drones.
Just instantly got flashbacks, don't do it.
Okay.
Drones are sweet.
Except for in the rules.
Make them also be like artillery, and you can just stay at the edge of the map and then kill everything.
It's a really terrible idea.
People love it, trust me.
We never told anybody this before, out of shame mostly, but Matt was the primary rules writer for 7th edition.
It's true. 7th edition, my big idea is we're going to add armor facing to the underside of aircraft whenever they fly overhead.
Okay. You're really outdoing yourself on that.
We're adding the dogfight phase.
Dogfight phase.
The dogfight phase.
We're also increasing the game time to 4 hours.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, making aircraft good and then also giving them armor facing. The double whammy of terrible rules.
And every army gets the World Eater slot machine.
You just have to buy a slot machine.
Your local 40k shop, now sponsored by Sportsbooks.
Perfect.
Yeah, let's keep moving here. Marcus's ideal faction. Said a very sensual there from him, but this
Orcs.
First data sheet we want to bring back for the orcs is the kill tank, and obviously it's the kill tank, right?
Yeah, it's essentially just a panther, but man, is it a cool panther. It's so big, it's so dumb, it's so orky. I have 3 of them. Let me play with them, GW.
Please.
John died.
I died building them. I had a lot of fun building them, actually. They were a lot of fun to make.
Just all completely 3 different builds. And my favorite game is to have people like, which one's the real kill tank? And most of them lose.
Which is surprising, because the one is very clearly, obviously, scrap built. This is the official model, right? These are scratch built ones that look just as good to that point you were making. And I think GW has some amount of fear of that, which is one of the, maybe it's a conspiracy theory, I don't know. But maybe that's the reason they've leaned so heavily into squigs, because you really can't kit bash squigs, right? If they released the kill tank, everyone would build their own kill tank,
Or just run the 3 they have, because there's a lot of old orc players that just have everything. The Death Throes of the Legends was legendary.
You mean the legendary orc players? The Death Throes of the legendary orc players is legendary.
It's awful.
Yeah, there's a lot of orc players out there with a bunch of looted Lehman Russes and stuff too, and I don't think those are coming back. But I don't know. There's a lot of really cool stuff, and I had to rein you in on orcs. Just as an aside, I had to rein you in on orcs because you have a million ideas for orcs, and we're going to talk about some of them, but the first one here is the kill tank. The next one, in the same vein, is the grot tank.
I like orc mechs.
He did both of these, and they're both really good.
Yeah. At the same time, man, the grot megatank is, as much as I love the kill tank, that grot megatank might be the single best Forge World model to ever exist.
It's really cool. I love this silhouette.
It wasn't even awful to build.
No. It's not very big, and I cheated here, right? This is 2 different data sheets, but bring back all the grot tanks. Make this a plastic model, make these a plastic model, and give us a grot tank commander, right? As its own individual kit, or like an extra build option from this kit, and like put a grot sticking out the top issuing orders to other grots, and give it a gigantic boom blasta cannon or something, and give it extra rules. Just a way to kind of spice up this part of the faction, I think.
But also give us the grot mega tank. Slightly smaller than a kill tank, but bigger than the grot mega tank.
I don't think we need that, but
we do.
I'm all aboard.
What
anyway.
about the tank grot? And it's a grot made out of tanks.
No, you've gone too far.
What about the grot aircraft carrier, where it's actually an aircraft, but it's airdropping tanks?
Okay, well, I mean, that's orc dumb, so, I can see it. I could definitely get behind it.
It doesn't actually fly. Like, you have to put it in from deep strike, but you roll where it lands and it just crashes. It's essentially a drop pod.
But the orc aircraft carrier, and it's just an orc carrying an aircraft.
Marcus,
Perfect.
Legitimate. Oh, no, you proposed that, didn't you, Matt? Originally?
I think it did.
Yeah, I deleted it immediately because how stupid it was. But
Who submitted this, and is it a joke?
I had too many good ideas.
Yeah, too many good ideas. That was the problem.
John was scared of them. He knew that I would take over the channel with my good ideas, then I would be in charge.
Well, yeah. No, that was the fear. This is awesome. I do really like
No, it's really.
He's like, oh, wait, it doesn't actually crush me. It just picks it up. Like, oh. Is it plastic bin?
He's just inconvenient.
Yeah, so good job out there, OrcMech, if you're watching this. Great job. The rest of these are actually really cool. This is the original kit from Forge World. If they just redid this in plastic, I'd be totally happy. These are awesome models. And this kit would be really fun for a number of other orc conversions. Like, you could do a big mech on these, like I did with the big mech that I kit bashed for you. You could do all sorts of stuff with this, with these tracks and these frames and all these different orky bits. So it'd be like the Killicans kit, where it's just, it's perfect to buy because it gives you all sorts of other options for your orky goodness. Let's keep moving here. This next unit is the Face Biter Squigs. Just concept art here, really. I want a squig unit that's like a feral squig unit. I want its rules to be Scout 18, Okay, and whenever it moves, you roll a scatter dice or something, or it just moves.
I'm liking it already.
Or
Scatter dice good.
Or it just engages or moves towards the nearest unit, the nearest visible enemy unit, and tries to get engagement range of it. And then if it does, it fights, right? And then whenever they die, you roll a 4-up, and they deadly demise. And it's deadly demise, 1 mortal wound, and they're just like a cheap 60-point. Scout 18 chaos unit that you can just throw up mid-board and be a... And maybe that's way too good, but what I just described sounds way too good, but maybe not because of the chaos element of it. But I just think it's the kind of thing that they could really have fun with the datasheet, I guess is what I'm saying.
So hear me out. Pink horrors. Every time you kill one, a smaller one appears.
A smaller squig appears.
They start putting in those little coin machines that have little toys in them, and they're just full of these models.
I just heard the entire GW board of directors get erect whenever you said you have to buy each model separately. They weren't listening, and now they're listening.
But they won't be like pink horrors, where pink horrors are annoying to kill. You'll kill these by the dozens.
Yeah.
They don't actually die. They just eventually, when they're T1 models, they just disappear.
Like flood forms in Halo 1. They just pop.
I don't like the idea of them materializing things when they die, because I don't think that's like part of squig lore. But I do think there's something to be said for them just being like loaded up with bombs that the orcs have attached to them. Basically like a unit of bomb squigs that they send forward. And when they die, some of the bombs explode and harm people as a result. But
the other concept is like the smaller squigs, like some slightly bigger squigs that about dreadnought sized.
That'd be pretty dope. I wouldn't hate that.
About the squig tank.
Squig tank, good.
I'm surprised the first thing you suggested was not squig plane, Matt.
Well, that comes next. We got to build up to that.
Yeah, you're really letting down your fans.
What about a giant aircraft carrier filled with
Okay, yeah, there's the bad I know. You had a lot of ideas for orcs, Marcus. This is your chance to wax poetic about them. Go ahead.
So what we need is more leaders, clearly. Why do Space Marines get it? We need a burner captain. We need a caked up Stormboy captain that Mario bounces people on their head. We need like a generic flash kits leader, for the love of God, if they not to let us have anything lead flash kits. Just more flash kit things in general. Give us our unique flash kit transport. I mean, why did Beast Snaggers get their own transport before we got a powered ship transport? GW.
I mean, fair.
There's a lot, but don't give them too many ideas. They'll make the models, give us exactly one per store, so we'll have to make them. So
I don't know.
What about Gazgul Senior and it's his older dad?
He's bigger, angrier, and has 2 Gretchen slates.
No, he's shorter and out of shape.
He wears a wife beater.
He's got like gray hair on top.
He comes with his own like lazy boy base.
So yeah, that's not. No. So like, okay, here's the thing with orcs. Orcs have a massive range. It's really well fleshed out. There are ways they can improve it, but I think if you're complaining, and I'm going to upset a lot of orc players, including you, Marcus, if you're complaining about the orc range is fine. There's nothing in the range that's really stands out to me starkly as needing a refresh or needing an update. Knobs could get one, the bikers could get one, Stormboys could get an update.
Stormboys are a perfect model. That model's super cool.
They're relatively old, but they all hold up fairly well. And I think that's the truth of orcs.
Yeah. Just give us plastic to forgeable stuff so we can run our forgeable stuff and not buy it.
Yeah. A knob biker would be perfect because,
God, yeah.
Everyone already owns one. So I don't know why they got rid of that to begin with. It was a great model. They could have made it in plastic. Maybe it was too tough, but...
Good lazy.
Well, yeah. There's probably a number of reasons we're not privy to. But anyway, I think orcs are fine. I think we're going to get to some in this range. I'm thinking of one in particular where the whole faction needs an update, is in desperate need of an update, and I don't want to insult those people by complaining for orc players about the fact that their faction... Everything in the orc faction holds up pretty well, I guess, is the concluding thought there.
It's the best model line in the game.
I don't know about that, but it is good.
Well, we make it the best model line. Orc players make it the best model line.
True.
We find something wrong, we fix it.
True, and that's part of being an orc player that I think is the other thing about it too. Like every orc player has a really unique army for the most part. So steer into that, get your chops off on kit bashing and everything. I don't think they need to really even expand the range. I would say honestly they could do more by dialing back the units in the army, more for the army's competitive health by dialing back the number of units in the army. Because one of the biggest problems with orcs in 10th edition is the internal balance of that codex is awful. It's like absolutely god awful. If they dial back the number of data sheets they have to balance, you're doing away with that problem in a really shitty way. But it helps you to focus the identity of the army more. Because the problem with orcs is They're shooty, kinda. They're melee. They're tough, kinda. They have good vehicles. They have good planes. They have good everything. Like, so many different parts of the faction that they... Similar problem for Space Marines, too, but they have so many different units that are dead every edition. And the reason they're dead every edition is because they don't get any love from GW for 3 years after their codex is released, and it's kind of an impossible task for the rules team to balance a faction like that. So
give us the models you took back.
Yeah.
Get rid of Beast Snaggers. Beast Snaggers didn't, like, the Squig Riders did, but why did we get another troop unit that's just slightly better boys? All right, let's move on.
All right. This next one are the Genestealer Cults. First one we're looking at here are the Wolf Quad Outriders. I looked at the Wolf Quad that came in the Jackals kit, I believe. I think that's where this one comes from. And I was like, why is that not its own unit? So what I want a mix of these Orlok Outriders from Necromunda and this guy from the Jackals kit, and I want it as a 3-man.
Yeah, 3-man would be cool. Like a very Mad Maxy. They can't be trikes. That's orc things. That could be a cool unit, and just get them more guns. More ability to just kill tanks.
These could be like las cannons, like repurposed infantry las cannons that they mount on the back of these. I don't know if that's too intense, but
Delta bombs like the Kazarkin.
That'd be cool.
It'd be cool to see like a 4-wheeler melee variant.
That'd be like Mad Max, like they have the javelins to blow cars up. How Max get melee range and then they blow the tank up.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be legit.
Like melee tank hunters, well, kind of like orcs are, but actually usable. But what the squiggles are supposed to be, but like make this actually do that and actually be cheap and not just be a cavalry unit that is bad.
Because this right now, it's basically, this role would be fulfilled by the Jackals squad probably if you did it exactly like this. But maybe, like you were saying, Matt, have a melee mine or something like a melt-a-mine lance, and they charge up and they do mortal wounds and, explode and die. Maybe this guy is fused to this because his genes have been stolen by the hive mind of the Tyranids to be a bomber. I don't know if that's something we can even say on YouTube, but
his genes are so into the bike.
Yeah, to self-extinguish in a fiery glory haze against the side of a Land Raider or something. I don't know, but
the hive mind commands that I die historic on the Fury Road.
That's exactly right.
It's got to be sweet.
Sprays his face with white paint. So let's keep moving here. So this is Dolly's impression, and it did not do a very good job. I couldn't get this to work. This is what I wanted, but mounted, like you see there's little tracks down here, but mounted on big-ass tracks with a bunch of different gun platforms around it, and then maybe like this is slightly smaller and more sci-fi, and this giant thing on the end, 2 of these, diamond-tipped, spins at 5 million RPM, extends to the front of the vehicle so that it charge and deal massive damage on the charge and different stuff like that. Or you know what I mean? It's a piece of mining equipment that has been repurposed as a fighting gun platform, like an elephant from Halo, or you know what I mean?
Could be cool.
That'd be sweet. Did you ever see the second Ghost Rider movie?
No.
And Ghost Rider gets in one of these and then it catches on fire and has a giant flaming like buzzsaw digger thing.
Did that actually happen in that movie?
That actually happens. You can look it up, yeah. I have the clip. Anything Ghost Rider gets in catches on fire, so he gets in one of these things, then it catches on fire, and then he like murders 1 million people with it or something. I forget what.
Wow. All right, well, Ghost Rider 2 fans, get the comments.
So what I'm saying is that the Genestealer cults also were Ghost Riders. Think how cool this would be.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea why. Yeah, thanks for that. This reference, Matt. So anyway, that has nothing to do with this, but other than
it has everything to do with this. We get Nick Cage in the 40k universe somehow.
We got to get that crossover room.
Yeah. Yeah.
He'll take the paycheck. He will.
So anyway, a giant mining rig, and maybe you could, instead of this, you could have a giant mounted mining laser on the top that slowly turns and distributes mining justice in the form of fiery hot plasma wherever you point it. But I like the idea of having this as like a melee variant, and maybe you could have, hot swappable weapon options, 2 different weapon options, the mining claw and then the mining laser, maybe some build options for it.
Is it the Mida rig because of Destiny and the Mida tool? That's what I think of.
Probably. I don't know what I was thinking with this name. Mining Industrial Drilling
Asshole
Assembly. Mining Industrial Drilling Assembly mega rig.
I like mine more.
Okay, yeah. Mining, industrial, drilling assholes, mega rig.
Massive insertion.
Deep in assholes.
Massive insertion. Digging it.
Okay. All right. Let's keep moving here.
Is it?
This next one here is something that I'm surprised that they didn't just create for Genestealer cults. Like, this seems like a Genestealer cult unit. To be fair, a lot of the Necromunda stuff does, but this in particular is the Cargo 8 Ridge Hauler. It's just it's basically a semi-truck with mounted fighting positions on it. This is Dolly's interpretation over here, which I think would be pretty cool too.
That one's a little bit too close to the transports they have, but the one on the left is like, yeah. Because there's something that needs to transport the aberrants. Could desperately use the transport they could fit in.
Yeah, they use rock grinders right now, but I don't think they can fit aberrants, right?
No, they have nothing they can transport. Their probably best melee unit. And it's not that durable anymore, so it's kind of slow. They could definitely do that. Or transport Genestealers even. Like, I get it, you can't put Genestealers in a regular transport. In a cargo bin, like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Right, you could have just this back door kicking open and a bunch of aberrants sprinting out. Or you could take this entire back thing off and just have a flatbed version, you know?
It's like full mine lasers or just one big fuck-off gun.
Yeah, or like Muscle Beach just hanging off the back like a bunch of hound dogs, you know, and just jumping off whenever they get close to the unit. I don't know.
Flexing, playing Panama. Be a great time.
Yeah. You can be my wingman anytime.
You had a character called Rictus Erectus. Yeah. He rips off the engine block.
Yeah, I don't know what that reference is either. Is this another Ghost Rider 2 reference?
No, that's Mad Max.
Oh, okay.
You Philistine.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
How dare you? You don't watch it every year?
No.
Every month?
Maybe I should.
Should?
If you watch Mad Max every month, get in the comments. I actually do like this over here. I know it's very similar to what they already have in terms of getting like neophyte hybrids up there. But I think if you're going to do like a flatbed version of this is kind of what I would like to see with some railings and stuff, and maybe like a mounted option in the back for mounted weapon. But I wouldn't hate if they literally just did this, with this being detachable and just having it be able to transport aberrants. Or even just this and be able to transport aberrants and these are closed if it's the transport variant. You guys ready to keep moving?
Keep going.
Next on the list is the Tyranids, and first data sheet I wanted to bring back was the Barbed and Scythed Hierodule, or Hierodule. I'm not sure how you're supposed to say it. But this is one of the Titanic bugs that went away with the death of a lot of the Forge World stuff.
Yeah, they could definitely do a really cool updated model. Like, this guy's a bit goofy, but see, they're bigger than like a Norn, right?
Yeah, they're basically knight-sized. I saw a kit bash of this guy where he was more on his back legs and his arms were like kind of extended upward and he was kind of on two legs. And he was the same size as a Questoris Knight, so just to give you a scale and perspective.
Yeah, because that was kind of a disappointment with the Norns. They're big, but they're not big. I would like to see some more actual, like, tough big bugs.
It's another range that I think is a lot like Orcs in the sense that I think it's a pretty well fleshed out range. And since they got their update, I don't think there's a lot in that range that needs love, to be honest. If I'm wrong, Tyranids players, let me know. This next one is the Cerebor. So this over here is the Cerebor, and I think in the lore, Cerebors are like a Leviathan-sized bug. They're a big bug. But I'm picturing something that's the size of like a Carnifex, and it can transport smaller Tyranids underneath of its wings in its shell, like a transport bug. Huh?
They kind of have that. So there's the one that produces little bugs, the mother one, and there's the drop pod one.
The other way they could take this is just having a giant meaty armor bug like you see in Helldivers. This is a Helldiver charger. So one of those two, but I'm pretty infatuated with this idea. I think having like a stag beetle type Tyranid with giant wings on the back that open up. And if you've ever seen the movie Bug's Life, there's a stag beetle guy in that. And he's like, "Oh, where are you kids hiding?" And they're hiding in his shell. And then he opens up his shell and they come out. That's what I'm picturing. So that, you know, except for less Disney, more murderous monster from beyond the stars.
Because I really like the idea of like fighting transports. So this thing being like a monster that, you know, it's not a Carnifex, but something that can still kind of fight after it's done transporting. Like,
yeah,
it being equal parts of transport and equal parts
a
big
monster.
Bug.
Yeah, exactly.
You convinced me.
And it plays well into the whole horde army for the Tyranids because it's both a big monster and it's adding like a horde.
Yeah, that might be against this idea because whenever you have horde creatures like this, why are you even bothering shielding them in a transport?
Flavor-wise, it plays both. The guy on the right, yeah, it's just one big model, but it's got like the horde aspect to it. Even if it functionally as a model.
All right, let's keep moving here. This final one is another Titanic bug. So this is just, they have neurothropes. This is a massive version of a neurothrope. Like, this is like a knight-sized floating neurothrope. It's like a size up. So maybe they don't want to do that because they've already got the other steps below it. Maybe they're done doing Titanic models. But like you were saying earlier when we talked about the scythe Hierodurals and the barbed Hierodurals, just big bugs is kind of fun and cool in my mind.
Except they only do something interesting for the army. They don't need to be busted, but again, there's never a wrong time for just more cool models.
Yeah. Anything you guys can think of that you'd like to see for Tyranids?
I had the same issue you were talking about when I was trying to think of anything. And granted, I don't know Tyranids that well, but I think they've done a pretty good job with making a whole bunch of different giant space bug monsters.
Yeah, I think this edition especially, I really liked all the new stuff they kind of came out with. I think the Norns are cool, Horror Spectres are some. I don't know when the Horror Spectres came out, but I love that model.
And especially for these factions, like we've been hammering on getting the comments, all that stuff for the purposes of engagement, but I'm actually really interested because I couldn't think of anything. And from what I saw out there, I was like researching around. Tyranid players are a pretty happy bunch in terms of their model range, and they should be. Yes, it's really new, really good. But if you have an idea for something that GW might want to consider for a future Tyranid release, tell us what you think. Let us know in the comments and, kind of flush out that idea.
The only thing they don't have is like a lot of name characters. I don't think it's a bad thing.
I don't think that's something they need, yeah.
No, I think it's like they have enough personality without it.
And part of the spookiness of the faction is how it's just a nameless horde. The bug that you should be trying to kill is not on the planet. He's somewhere in space controlling this massive horde of Tyranid.
Yeah.
The only one I remember is Old One Eye. I remember he's a cool old character.
Yeah.
He's still in the game.
He still has a model.
Yeah, just kind of
like that's the only character I can remember from back in the day.
And his name comes from... That's like an Imperium source named him as a particularly devastating Carnifex.
Yeah.
I essentially keep killing him and he keeps coming back. So I assume whatever is controlling him just takes over another Carnifex.
Right.
Takes his form.
Uses a unique gene concoction to release him again.
Do they have aircraft carriers that release flying bugs, but the bugs are flying planes?
No.
Not yet.
Okay, add that model.
We did it.
We did it.
We came up with the extremely original idea of an aircraft carrier for other plane bugs.
So we lit your idea as 27 different aircraft carriers. We only have 24 factions.
And what's this about a dogfight phase?
The dog fighting phase. We've seen getting a gambling in this game.
None of our stores are equipped with slot machines. The dogfight phase is not something we want.
What if we had a unit for Tau, and it was like in Warhammer Fantasy when you could put a bunch of guys in like the square, and it was 50 crude hounds combined into one model. You could have 250,000 crude hounds.
Yeah, take it back. I thought that aircraft carrier idea was good.
You see, we lead with aircraft carrier, and then we follow up with 36 screwed hounds. It makes the aircraft carrier unit look a lot better.
Holy shit. Gilliman. It's that quote.
Oh my god. The new rule for Space Marines is no fear, and then in parentheses, except when faced with 36,000 crew hounds. Fear accepted in that specific circumstance. Alright, well that's good. I'll have to do some serious editing on that section.
Yeah, to keep all this in.
Yeah, for sure. This next faction we're going to look at are the Necrons, and this first unit is one that I'm quite proud of coming up with as well. This is the Blackstone Construct.
It's just ironical.
You don't like this one?
I think it's cool. I had the issue with Necrons where I just don't know a damn thing about Necrons, so I couldn't even remotely say what they should add because I don't know anything outside of their black skeleton people. And I think they also have a pyramid, that actual model, the big pyramid.
It's several models.
But this guy is the Blackstone Construct. So he is on a Necron tomb world. There's ancient structures that are made of this material called Blackstone. And as I understand it, the Imperium doesn't really know how to manipulate it or create it or anything like that. But they have used them. Like Cadia had a bunch of them that they repurposed for the purposes of like communication devices and stuff. And they're typically indicative of a Necron tomb world. And so the idea is this Blackstone Construct would be a guardian of a tomb world that is empowered through whatever magic the Necrons use to do their bidding. It's not a Necron warrior. There was no ancient Necron tier soul trapped inside of it. It's purely like a servitor for the Necrons, but it's made of this blackstone material. You know, I'm picturing him being the size of like a dreadnought, being more akin to the Grand Cathay clay golem size, where he's like a giant stompy murder monster.
And it gives an actual like unique silhouette compared to I know they look like Terminator skeleton guys. I dig them.
I would like it as a big unit, like but something like, you know, a Nightbringer size. My eyes gonna glaze over a Necron, something to lie.
Yeah, that's fair. They were a tough army too. I think there are units in this faction that can do with an update, notably the C'tans. Well, we're going to talk more about that. This next one is the Canoptic Tomb Sentinel. So this was a old Forge World model that I actually had one, and I thought it was really awesome. This is kind of playing into the bug theme of the army, but I think this could have a role as light melee / somewhat shooty skirmishy vehicle, maybe like a distraction Carnifex within the army.
Sorry.
Are these both the actual models?
Yes.
Like, it actually is a super sweet model.
Yeah, as far as like the Forge World stuff goes, it's actually a pretty like cool concept for me, because I think Necrons, I don't want to say they have gaps in their line, but when I've played against the model like this, like when it was, I believe it's still legal. It might be. I don't know if it is anymore, but I think they could do a really cool model with something like this. Definitely be an infiltrate unit. The guy just be like a midfield scrimmage unit, but also it's cool as hell.
The Necron range is really good. I just think that if you're trying to give them new stuff, just refreshing some of the stuff that went away from Forge World is a good place to start. I can't think of a lot of, like you were saying, I can't think of a lot of holes in the army. And I can't think of a new thing that they necessarily need beyond just more characters, which they already have a lot of unique characters.
Yep. Like some of these are things that should exist, and some of these are things that like we want it.
Yeah. Probably should have started with this one, but this is the C'tan Shard of the Nightbringer. I want this one refreshed because it's been typically very good in the rules. There's also the C'tan Shard of the Deceiver, which is the other C'tan that exists that hasn't been refreshed. I think they should redo all the C'tans, and they should do them up like they did the Void Dragon, where they're larger, more imposing, and more interesting visually. This is from Creature Caster, I believe.
That's so metal.
Yeah. And this is kind of what I want to see. I want to see them dial it up. If you look at the actual current model, it's like a skinny, wimpy sort of dude. I want him to have an 8-pack.
I want an 8-pack. I want a huge dong. But yeah, they have the one that's an actual plastic, the Void Dragon, and he's a sick model.
Void Dragon, yeah. He is really cool.
The Nightbringer should not exist as a model.
Yeah, I mean, these are kind of an important part of the Necron lore. I mean, these are dead gods. These are like the shards of a dead god. So I don't think them getting rid of this is going to happen.
They needed to update the model a long time ago, because his rules do not reflect at all what, like, this little unkillable monster is the size of a 50 mil base.
So that's why you don't like C'tan shards, right? It's because they've been historically a pain in the butt.
Not even that. It's just like, here's this little thing that can hide behind a crate. It doesn't represent what it is. We talk about that, like that model reading well. That model does not read like it has 12 wounds and half damage and has a 5 field of pain when it's smaller than a dreadnought.
I 100% agree.
What if they still had the Matt's old
Avatar Arcane?
Yeah, you couldn't do that. You couldn't have him be T12 and 18 wounds, and have him be smaller than a box knot.
Yeah, I agree 100%. He's a relic of a game that doesn't exist anymore, and this would be much bigger. All right, let's keep moving here. So, Dolly did not really know what I wanted to do here, clearly. So, this next faction, this is the Leagues of Votann. This first unit that we're looking at here is called the Exomech Lugger. And I think the lugger term is something from their lore, and the exomech I think is just a word I added as like an addendum. But what I wanted was like an Invictor tactical warsuit with a Votann Chthonian Berserker inside, and maybe a Dreadnought version of that where it's like his arms have been cut off. That's why he's in a Dreadnought. This is not what I wanted to see. I didn't want it to be a playpen for a gnome.
Yeah, I could see like multiple versions of this. So having like, you know, so again, they're like a capitalist society. So having, you know, civilian versions being a unit, and they're cheaper, they're more melee variants. And that's a big thing Votann is missing, is like, I think they can update the line with is the military units, which I don't know if we'll see that later, but like having the gun version be like, all right, yeah, we made this to fight. It's a lot more expensive, but it actually shoots. It doesn't have this commanding laser and a drill.
Yeah, we're not going to see that later. That's a really good idea.
the concept of like, I think that's where I go with leagues. Like they're really high tech technology, and like it doesn't feel like that when you fight them and kind of look at them. What we're seeing is we're actually this is a mining colony that's defending itself.
There's a lot of different ways they could go at the range because it's such a small range right now. They really need to flesh it out with new units for sure.
Yeah, like if they got more, I think Votann are absolutely one of the coolest factions. I really like Votann, but not enough to spend money on them.
Yeah, they need. I didn't hate them to begin with. I hated the roles, and I love what they could be. And I like a lot of their stuff, so I might fall in love with them one day.
They have a good start to their army. The problem with the start to their faction was the broken codex that they came with, but... So what do we think of this?
Perfect.
They have the Hecaton land fortress. This is the Militon land fortress.
Yeah, I'd like to see one of the Hecatons that aren't a transport. There's a concept of like, yeah, we're going to repurpose this vehicle for multiple things, get rid of the transport capacity, put a big gun on it.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's not an angel. It's a Greek mythology thing. It's 100 hand job one.
Oh, 100. Hecaton is 100, right?
Yeah.
So this is milli. So this is 1,000,000 tons.
Militon. Yeah. I love it.
We'll put a big ass on it.
Put a big butt on it.
It is. I'm liking the far left one.
I knew you would, Matt.
Make that boy big.
Just made a
solid chunk of lead.
I was just gonna say. Make this metal
and make that on the table, and it just collapses in half. It just crumples underneath it.
Yeah, GW experiments with cardboard models, except for this is metal.
GW's world's first tungsten model.
It's just the Votann miners here.
You tournament organizers out there that are using those Walmart folding tables, better beware. Oh, yeah. Wow, yeah, that'd be great. Dolly had no idea what I wanted. So I basically want the Hecaton land fortress, but bigger and more impressive with larger guns and a more Fortress A aesthetic, so...
Also, no, better name. Let's call it the Tungsten.
The Tungsten Land Fortress. There you go. Yeah, that would be perfect. That's not the name of it. That's a description.
It costs $8 million to drive this vehicle. $8 million. 30 seconds. Come to his own trailer hitch.
Leagues of Votann. A lot of different options out there. I want a big F-off fortress. I want a super heavy. That's what I want for them. Most importantly. People talk about... When this faction first came out, they were kind of memeing on the fact that it could be a land train. I think a land train is probably not something they're ever going to do just because the idea of it, a long model, doesn't really work in 40k. But something bigger might also not work in 40k, but I'm totally okay with this versus something like that. So
just make it cool and big.
All right. This final one is kind of the opposite end of the spectrum. This is like a chaff unit. This is from the Blackstone Fortress box set. I think it's just like a cogitator servitor kind of thing. I'm sure Leagues of Votann has access to this technology. Why don't we give them a unit of them? Call them Veilcog Servitons instead of servitors to make them more dwarvy. I don't know what this stands for. Don't ask me. But these are like not the Ironkin. They're more like basic than that.
I think the design and color scheme are awesome on these.
Yeah, I really like this color.
And the Horus Heresy, the Admech kind of have the Horde, their Horde unit, not the mechanic about that Horde unit of servitors. He's got to make a really cool Horde unit.
Yeah, and Votann don't really have that, right?
No, like I said, big something that moves with the board and kind of shoots kind of hard. You repurpose their Ironkin guy to like buff them. It'd be really interesting. They'll use AI. Like the whole thing with the Imperium is they don't use AI, but these guys probably do.
Yeah, I think that's kind of one of the things that is unique to them is that they emerged out of the dark age of technology, not completely shunning artificial intelligence. So maybe lean into that identity. All right, let's move on to the next faction here with the Drukhari. The first one here, I believe it's still a data sheet. And just a heads up, this is the one I was talking about. This is the faction that needs the most love in 40k, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just old.
It is old. And like the grotesque model that used to exist, and I don't think you can buy it anymore. Firstly, it was fine cast. Secondly, it was one model, and they come as a 3-man unit.
They're still a unit, yeah. Couldn't tell you what they look like. I've seen them, but I just instantly forget what they look like.
That's because they're all kit bashed. People kit bash these. That's why Artel Miniatures, which is what this is, sells this version. This is the most official version of this you can get. The official model is one guy, and if you were to buy it enough for a 3-man, it'd be like $120. And they'd all look the same.
But it just needs a new model. And they could do a really thing with it too. So
yeah, and I've seen a lot of people do conversions with like rat golems from Age of Sigmar, whatever they're called, the Storm Lords or Storm Vermin or whatever they are from Skaven and Age of Sigmar, and use those with Drukhari bits. But yeah, they definitely need something official and in plastic, for the love of God. This next one is off requested, but just as a fair warning, I cheated on Drukhari. I've included more than 3 datasheets on here, and this is not the only example of that. We're going to get to those slides later. They're called bonus slides, but this is Asdrubal Vect, who is the grand leader of Camorra. He's like the head honcho, the Archon. And so he would be a really cool centerpiece model. I'm kind of torn because his original model, which is this one here, I heard you chuckling, Matt.
Little Smurfs.
Yeah, these Smurfs here. Yeah. So this whole thing is on a Raider, and it's like his own unique Raider. And I think they could do that in a cool way and have a Tantalus model with him mounted on the back that you could take that off and put it on its own base, and you could magnetize it and move it between the two easily. And you could have a Tantalus kit that builds just the Tantalus, and you could have Asdrubal Vect's Tantalus and have it give its own name, and that's a build option of this kit as well. But basically, the desire here is to get Vect as a model, and to get this amazing Tantalus. The Tantalus is the coolest model in Drukhari, in my opinion, in plastic.
It's weird. It is a true nightmare to build. Like, that is truly awful.
Yeah.
The real question is, how many babes?
All the babes.
We get a lot of babes on the Tantalus.
Yeah. Don't stop. You think you have enough babes? Go more. You know?
I mean, it has a transport capacity of 16. He leaves its transport capacity to make it, though, if you add him to it.
They have characters where they're like, name of the character, comma, title of the character. His character should just be Asdrubal Vect, Master of Babes.
Master Babes.
Master Babes. Woo! Pretty bright.
And he should just be on a surfboard. Give him a 12-pack, long flowing blonde hair.
He should actually be on the Tantalus. He should just be like on a hoverboard skiing behind it.
Skateboarding, behind him.
So Asdrubal Vect would be awesome. Tantalus would be awesome. Do it for both of them. All right, let's keep moving. This third one here, this is a Manticore character.
A what character?
This is a Manticore character. Kara Druak. I don't know how you say his name. The Decapitator. This is what Dolly gave me, which is very suitably.
What is he known for?
He's known for his loving kiss. He's big in his community. Loves helping orphans. Volunteers at the Humane Society. You decapitate one head. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what else to say about this guy. a Manticore, a character that can lead Manticores.
What are Manticores?
Maybe they're not called Manticores. The shadowy dudes.
Mandrake?
Mandrakes.
Yeah, God.
This is a Mandrake Lord, yeah. He's the leader of the Mandrakes.
Sure. Why not? Typically, Drukhari's strength lies in their characters, so have tentacles like going in and out of their mouths, but they're still alive, just like,
Wet Willy,
But moving on from this one into our bonus data sheets for Drukhari, and I know I said we wouldn't do this, but that was because Orcs already has a massive range that looks pretty good. Court of the Archon does not currently have a model, but it's still a data sheet as I understand it. So
it's a really cool unit that is held back by kind of... I assume those models existed at some point, and they're probably old, they just don't want to make them anymore. But the unit still exists. They can't get rid of units in a book that only has 20 data sheet, so...
Yeah, maybe that is the issue here, because I think they did get rid of the... did they get rid of the Beastmaster in 10th edition?
Nope.
No, he's still around. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'd like to see a refresh for this, and maybe get rid of the Urgul part of that, and just have like these 3 guys, similar like to Inner Circle Companions for like, Dark Angels, and have unique models for these guys. And then what I want them to do too, I want them to really expand on the whole beasts within the faction. And maybe this is not the direction they want to go, but this is from Blackstone Fortress. Ambule, I think is what it's called. Super cool beast that has a model that they could just include, and they could print this guy. He's probably already on a sprue somewhere. Print him as an option for Necromunda or something, and then you could use his model in 40k as a tie-on to a Beastmaster. Servitor Ogrins or Slave Ogrins. You could have a cool rule within the Drukhari where any beast model in another faction they can include in their army or something like that. I don't know if that would be balanced or interesting to Drukhari players, but it'd just be a cool way to represent the fact that they have these giant fighting pits in the city of Camorra where they capture beasts from around the galaxy to fight for them. So maybe that's a way they go.
It could be interesting. I was going to say the one data sheet I see could going away is just the Beastmaster. If they want to move away from it, that's fine. If they want to lean into it, they need to lean into it.
I agree with that. Moving on to our final faction here. This is Drastanta, Tempest of Starlight for the Eldar. And
oh yeah, and you spelled it right, not the stupid Eldari. Dark Eldar, and it's Eldar.
Yes, and this is Scooty Puff Jr.
I love him.
Yeah, Dolly didn't know what I wanted.
I like the flight stand it tried to make. Yeah, this is the Shining Spear Exarch.
Yes.
Shining Spear's got a new kit not too long ago, or is it still an older kit?
I think it's new. I think it's pretty new.
Yeah, they definitely get them a leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Exarchs always have the coolest characters.
I didn't come up with this name. This is from the wiki. So
yeah, just make the model.
All right, let's do it. Don't do this, though.
Give him a Scooty Puff. Yeah, do that. Have him be really embarrassing to the rest of the Shining Spears. Like, there's a reason he hasn't been allowed out for the last 10,000 years.
Yeah.
They had 6 inches to the movement. Coherency is now 7 inches. Get away from that.
Oh god, he escaped. He's out. He's loose.
After they're done fighting, they can choose to auto explode.
I'm picturing it being accompanied by like an ice cream truck song, like da 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 da.
The kid has the one of the coin receptors that says 25 cents next to it.
Yeah.
Roll to see if he's having a good time.
Yeah.
Oh, you rolled a 1, he cries. You have to go deal with that.
Roll a 2, he makes a scene. Yeah, I don't know. This is not what I really... Dolly didn't know what I wanted here. I want this to be long, white, and I want him to be more ornate and more Phoenix Lord, less whatever this is.
I don't know if I'd be brave enough to include this in the slideshow, but I appreciate you for putting it in here, John.
I could not get anything better. I swear, I tried for a long time. This next one I think Dolly did a much better job on. These are the Shadow Spectres, and these were a unit at some point, I believe. I'm not
this edition. They got Legends. I think they got Legends out, but yeah, they were a real asshole because they were a Detroit unit that could fire and fade.
Yeah, so they have prism guns too. These are really strong guns.
They're sweet.
And they're insanely cool.
The actual ones from that guy are awesome on the left.
Yeah, Stolly hails from Craftworld, Germany. I didn't feel like doing a credit on this one, so I just included the credit at the website. But this is these were his models.
Yeah, I've never heard of these guys. They're sweet.
They're always really good. They're cool. Jump pack units that have big guns are always pretty cool.
Always sweet, yeah.
Yeah.
Just stop putting fire and fade on units.
I think Eldar should lean into the Aspect Warriors more as a faction identity, and maybe they already have, but
I think it's a really decent change for them.
Maybe they're destined to always be bastards, though, so I don't know. But I do think they're cool in appearance.
Yeah.
All right, so more of the same here, but this is Irilith, Shade of Twilight. This would be the Aspect Warrior for the Shadow Spectres. Nothing too original.
Yeah, just cool. Get everyone an Aspect Warrior. Because Eldar lost a lot of Forge World stuff, and there's a lot of really cool stuff in there they could just bring back. And it maybe doesn't have a role, but they're still super cool.
Like what? What specifically can you think of?
Like the Hornets are pretty cool models. They have I think a series of heavy tanks. Not quite Baneblades, but they're kind of their Rogodor equivalent. They're all super cool. They were all legal at the start of the edition, which was a lot of the problem.
Yeah.
Not all of it needs to come back, but there's some cool pieces that if they updated, I think would be nice to see come back. The Shadow Spectre is one of them, and giving them an Exarch makes a lot of sense.
I mean, maybe a lot of Eldar players chime in the comments as always, but maybe a lot of Eldar players would prefer getting the tanks back. I didn't even come across those, so it didn't really occur to me. Those would be awesome.
I agree with you. I think Eldar should lean more into the Aspect Warriors. The tanks were cool, but
yeah,
I think fundamentally the Eldar armor is the defining cool trait of the Eldar, so just give them more of that.
Yeah, and again, Dolly did a really good job on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just the coloration they used and the white armor, but I really like this.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that was a real model.
Yeah, honestly. And that's it, guys. We did it. We made it through all the Xenos factions with 3 units we'd like to see. I've said it a couple times throughout the video, but if you had an idea that we didn't cover here, or maybe just wanted to get your idea out there, definitely get down below in those comments and let us know what you'd like to see. And, as always, just thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Next time we do this, we're probably going to do Chaos.
Chaos.
And I've got some great ideas for Chaos. So if you have great ideas for Chaos too, let us know in the comments. We'll use it in the video. We'll shamelessly steal it, not credit you, make fun of you for it.
If you have awful ideas, also share those.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thanks for watching again. Thanks for listening again. If you like our content, help support us. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Get in those comments and let us know what you think about our videos. And we'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.